If you've been playing fighting games for a while, you've definitely had the experience where you hit a wall and you don't know how to improve. And at that point, you've probably either asked somebody or searched online, how do I get better at fighting games? And if you've asked this question, I'm sure you've heard all the typical answers. Practice your anti-airs, work on your footsies and spacing, learn better combos. Now this is all valid advice and definitely will help you improve, but all of these are abstract concepts and doesn't really give you a clear answer as to how to actually get better, and more importantly, how to practice and implement these things in your matches to actually give you the results you want. And that's why in this video series, I'm going to give you some real concrete ways that you can actually use and apply in your practice sessions to quickly help you level up. I started doing a lot of research for this video series, and the other day I came across a great video resource that I wanted to share with you guys. And this video comes from Pugera, and if you don't know who he is, he's a pro Japanese Street Fighter 6 player, and you might remember him for having a really great Balrog back in Street Fighter 5. So this is Pugera's video right here, and for those of you who don't know, I do speak and understand Japanese, so I'm not going to translate the whole thing for you, but I'm going to summarize the main points of his video, and I'm mostly going to paraphrase what he says and definitely add some of my own ideas into this. I'll leave the link in the description for those of you who understand Japanese and want to watch the full original video. So in his video, Pugera is talking about the question that he gets the most during his streams, and that is, I've hit X rank, let's say Platinum, Diamond, Master 1500, or like Master 1700. What do I do to level up and get to the next rank or get to the next step? And Pugera basically says, with a question like that, how do I get better? There's no concrete way for him to actually give you an answer that's going to help you personally improve, because it's such an abstract question. So to help fix this, Pugera says that in his opinion, there's only one thing that you really need to work on and to level up and to be able to keep on growing as a player no matter what rank you're at. And that is the ability to self-evaluate. The people who tend to do well and to keep on growing and progressing as players are the kinds of people who are really good at looking at themselves, evaluating their own strengths and weaknesses, and then picking their weaknesses and being able to train those. Now this still sounds like an abstract concept, but don't worry, because he gives us something really good that we can work on. And that's this right here. If you don't know what this is called a radar chart or a spider graph. So in Pugera's opinion, the best way to use this radar chart is to break it down into different skills that we can see in any fighting game, but of course this video is about Street Fighter 6, so let's look at it in that context. And in his video, he breaks it up into the following categories: anti-air, defense, footsies, combos, knockdown pressure or Oki, and meter management. And of course, that's just his opinion, but you can add some other categories as well. For example, for me, I like to also add whiff punishment, drive rush checking, counter poking, and drive impact reactions to that list. So we're going to use this radar chart to create data that we can use to help us evaluate ourselves as players and identify our strengths and our weaknesses. Now, mentioning data, did you know that over 50% of the people who watch videos on my channel are not subscribed? One of the fastest ways to improve is to actually hit that subscribe button, because it helps me produce more videos to help you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's continue with the video. So as we can see here, I made an example radar chart that you can use. I'm going to leave a Google Drive link in the description where you can use the one that I made. This is an example here, and then I have a self-evaluation form that you can fill out and evaluate, so you can do this really easily. Just download it in the description. So you can rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Pugera used 1 to 5 in his video, so let's just stick with that for now. And basically what you want to do is you want to be honest with yourself and think about your strengths and your weaknesses and give yourself a score in each of these categories. So here we have anti-air, 2 points, defense 5, footsies 2, combos 5, 5, 5 for everything. So this is helpful because it'll help that player know that they have to work on their anti-airs. But what Pugera lays out in his video is that anti-airs isn't just a single skill, because there are lots of different situations and different ways that we can anti-air in games like Street Fighter 6. Pugera's suggestion is to go a step beyond this and then to identify a single category and then make another radar chart based on that category itself. So here we can see we have a second radar chart called anti-air evaluation. And then he broke it down into basically 4 categories. So a mid-screen anti-air would be when someone just jumps at you from mid-screen, straight ahead, no cross-ups, anything like that, just a straight jump. Then there's cross-ups or cross-cut DPs, and that's when an opponent jumps over you, goes to the other side. Neutral jump DPs, so that'll be something like when they're just jumping in neutral, can you anti-air that? And a throw escape would occur when you get knocked down, the opponent does a neutral jump to kind of bait your throw, and then if you don't throw, you'd have enough time to react with an anti-air against your jumping opponent. So that would be a throw escape anti-air. So here for this example player, I gave mid-screen anti-airs 5, so a perfect 5, cross-cut or cross-up DPs a 1, neutral jump 5, and a throw escape a 1. So using this anti-air evaluation example, let's go into training mode and let's set up an easy drill that you can use for cross-ups or cross-cut DPs and also throw escapes. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can implement this and use it in your training modes in Street Fighter 6. Alright, so for this example, I'm going to be the Cammy player and I'm going to be working on my cross-cut, or otherwise known as like cross-up DPs, and this is going to be against the Ken player. So what I did, I set a recording here in slot 1, and the recording looks like this. Ken's going to do 2 lights and then jump for a cross-up, and that's going to hit me if I don't block the other way. So here, I'm just going to block, and I'm going to try to work on my cross-cut DP. I'm going to take a little step forward, react, and cross-cut. And I'm going to try to do this 10 times in a row without getting a single input mistake. So there we go. Okay, I'm getting it. Just to keep this video short, let's say I just got it 10 times in a row. What you would do, then you would go on the other side and practice your crosscut on the 2-player side. Then make sure you can get that 10 times in a row. Once you can get it 10 times in a row, you're going to want to add some variations, because in a real match, an opponent isn't going to do the same thing at the same distance all the time. You might run into some players who never change their patterns ever, and that's definitely a thing that happens. But usually, especially once you get into the higher ranks of this game, you're going to have opponents who adapt a little bit more and won't keep on going for the same option. So let's add some variations to the defense to kind of help us practice something that'll be more applicable in a real match. So here in slot 2, I'm just going to record the same thing, but I'm going to set Ken to do nothing. Then here in slot 3, I'm going to do the same thing, but end it with Jinrai kick. So now we have 3 variations. We have just 2 lights into a cross-up, 2 lights into nothing, and 2 lights into a Jinrai. So this is going to make us react in different ways, and this is closer to what happens in a real match. So right now, just to make things easy, let's just turn on the cross-up jump, and then 2 lights into nothing. So here we go, make the save state, let's turn it on, and let's try to react to the jump. There we go, got it. So you'd keep on repeating this until you can get it 10 times in a row. Then, once you can get this 10 times in a row and you feel comfortable, you're going to turn on slot 3. So let's turn on slot 3, Jinrai kicks, and let's try to do a reversal against, because if Ken commits to that first hit of the Jinrai kick and you do a reversal, you're always going to beat it. There you go. There's the crosscut. And then there I'm reacting to the Jinrai. So adding different layers and different recording slots with different variations and then turning them all on will really help you develop as a player and improve your skills. And of course, this is just looking at anti-airs in a very unique situation. I definitely recommend going into your replays, watching your replays, and figuring out where you get hit and where you aren't anti-airing, or where you're making other mistakes, even if it's not an anti-air. And then using the replay takeover function and really practicing and labbing out that situation, and then coming up with drills that you can use in training mode to help you improve. So yeah, I think this is a great tool that we can use to improve and self-evaluate and identify and focus on things that we need to improve in our game plan. I think one of the worst things you can do is just to hop into training mode and just do the exact same routine every single time. I know I'm guilty of this, and I'm sure most of you are too. You know, you open up training mode, what's the first thing you do? You practice your combo, right? But it's a combo you can already do most of the time. So we shouldn't really be spending too much time doing things we're already good at and things we can already do. I think it's much better to use a self-evaluation tool like this, and then to identify your weaknesses and then really focus your training time on fixing those weaknesses and improving as a player that way. So go ahead, download this, give yourself a self-evaluation, and of course, if you like this idea and you think it's good, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Pugera is onto something with this, or do you think this is too much work for what it's worth? I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm going to try using this. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a self-evaluation. I'll post it up on Twitter or something. And then maybe in 3 weeks or a month from now, I can do an update video and let you guys know if I improved or what I noticed from doing this myself. And of course, if you guys understand Japanese, please check out the original video that Pugera posted, because I think it's really great, so check it out. And then if you learned something or enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, because it helps support me as a content creator. Thank you all so very much for watching, and until next time, take care.